The most controversial Star Wars moments ranked. Did you ever watch a Star Wars scene and just sit there like, wait, did that really just happen? Maybe it was the moment Anakin choked Padmé, or when Luke and Leia, and we all found out later, yeah, that's gonna be awkward at every family dinner. Remember exactly how you felt, right? Shocked, confused, betrayed? Then congratulations, you lived through a Star Wars controversy. And today we're breaking down the biggest ones in the entire saga. From the weird, to the dark, to the George, why did you do that? Before we start, please support the channel by hitting that like button, subscribing if you haven't already, and ringing the notification bell so you don't miss our next Star Wars video. Your support goes a long way and keeps us making videos. Now back to the list. Number 10. Luke and Leia's sibling kiss. Starting off at number 10. The most uncomfortable moment in the original trilogy that no one saw coming. In The Empire Strikes Back, Luke and Leia shared what seemed like an innocent little kiss. Leia was trying to make Han jealous, and honestly, at the time, it worked. But then, Return of the Jedi drops the nuclear bomb. They're twins, brother and sister, same DNA. Yup. Fans have been calling it creepy ever since, and honestly, they're not wrong. It's not graphic violence or anything, but emotionally, it's weird. Here's the thing though, this ranks low on our list because it's more awkward than actively harmful to the story. It's the kind of thing you laugh about now. Number 9. Ahsoka's slave arc. Number 9 takes us into darker territory. Ahsoka Tano's slave arc in the Clone Wars. In one storyline, Ahsoka, this bright and hopeful young Jedi, gets captured and sold into slavery. She's placed in a cage like an animal, stripped of her dignity and forced to fight. This isn't your typical Star Wars action. It's disturbingly dark, especially for a show that was initially marketed toward younger audiences. Fans have debated for years whether this storyline belonged in the Clone Wars at all. Some say it shows the brutal reality of the Star Wars universe, others say it crossed a line. The controversy here is about tone. The Clone Wars pushed boundaries, but was this boundary necessary? It made Ahsoka's character deeper, sure, but at what cost? That's why it ranks at 9. Number 8. Anakin choking Padmé. Coming in at number 8, Anakin force choking his pregnant wife in Revenge of the Sith. This scene is brutal. Padmé, who's carrying Anakin's children, begs him to stop, and he doesn't. Not right away. The fact that she's pregnant makes it exponentially worse, and fans and critics alike have called this one of the most disturbing moments in Star Wars history. The controversy? It's too real. This isn't space fantasy anymore. It's emotional trauma that hits way too close to home. Anakin, who once claimed to love Padmé more than anything, loses control so violently that it challenges everything we thought we knew about his character, and that's why it's at 8. Number 7. The Gorman Massacre. At number 7, we've got something more recent and heavy. The Gorman Massacre from Andor Season 2. This isn't about Jedi or lightsabers. This is about political violence at its most brutal. Peaceful protesters on the planet Gorman are slaughtered by the Empire in cold blood. Stormtroopers open fire on unarmed civilians. Security droids throw people against walls, killing them instantly. It's not just a battle, it's systematic genocide. What makes this so controversial is how real it feels. This could be ripped from our very own history books. Protests that end in massacre. Governments that turn on their own people. Fans have called it one of the darkest moments in Star Wars, and they're not exaggerating. It's a turning point that pushes Mon Mothma to finally denounce the Empire publicly and form the Rebel Alliance. Number 6. Han vs. Greedo. Who shot first? Number 6 is the OG Star Wars controversy that has raged for decades. Did Han shoot first? In the 1977 original cut of A New Hope, Han Solo straight up blasts Greedo under the table. Done. Greedo never even gets a shot off. Han's a cold-blooded smuggler who doesn't take chances, and that's what made him such a compelling anti-hero. But then, in 1997, George Lucas released this special edition and changed the scene. Now Greedo fires first, missing Han from point-blank range, which makes absolutely no sense, and then Han shoots back in self-defense. Fans lost their minds. Why? because this change fundamentally alters Han's character. The whole point of his arc is that he starts as a morally gray rogue and becomes a hero. By making him act in self-defense from the beginning, Lucas stripped away the edge that made Han so interesting. This debate has spawned memes, t-shirts, fan edits, and even a website dedicated to the original version. George Lucas defended the change, saying Han shouldn't be a cold-blooded killer, but fans disagree. They wanted Han to be rough around the edges. The phrase, "Han shot first," has become a rallying cry for original trilogy purists. And honestly, it's not going away. That's why it's at 6. Number 5. The Holdo Maneuver. Sliding into number 5, the Holdo Maneuver from The Last Jedi. Admiral Holdo sacrifices herself and her ship, using a hyperspace jump to ram through the First Order's supremacy fleet. Visually, absolutely stunning. One of the most gorgeous shots in Star Wars history. But fans were not happy. Why? Because if this was always an option, why wasn't it used earlier? Why didn't the Rebellion use this tactic during the original trilogy? Why didn't anyone hyperspace ram the Death Star? The scene raised too many questions, and for some, broke Star Wars' internal logic. Critics argue it's a deus ex machina, a convenient plot device that undermines decades of established space battle tactics. Others defended it, saying it was a one-in-a-million shot that required precise timing, but the damage had already been done. And thus, the Holdo Maneuver became a symbol of The Last Jedi's divisive storytelling, and that's why it ranks at number 5. Number 4. Midi-chlorians reveal. At number 4, midi-chlorians. The moment George Lucas tried to explain the Force with science. For decades, the Force was mystical, spiritual, and unknowable. It was an energy field that bound the galaxy together. It was magic. And then the Phantom Menace came along and said, actually, it's microscopic organisms in your blood. Fans were furious. By turning the Force into cellular biology, Lucas stripped away the mystery that made it so compelling. Suddenly, being a Jedi wasn't about belief or discipline, it was about your midi-chlorian count. You either have it or you don't. Some fans defend it, saying it adds depth to the lore, but for most diehards, this was a bridge too far. The Force should feel mysterious and spiritual, not like a blood test result. Midi-chlorians didn't ruin Star Wars, but they changed it in a way that a lot of people didn't want, and that's why they're at 4. Number 3. Jar Jar Binks. Number 3 is a character so divisive he has his own subreddit, Jar Jar Binks. Introduced in The Phantom Menace, Jar Jar was supposed to be comic relief. Instead, he became one of the most hated characters in Star Wars history. His clumsy antics, his voice, his entire existence, it all grated on fans who wanted a darker, more serious prequel trilogy. But here's where it gets wild. Some fans think Jar Jar was originally supposed to be a Sith Lord. Yes, seriously. The Death Jar Jar theory suggests George Lucas planned a massive twist where Jar Jar was secretly manipulating events the whole time. And honestly, there's some compelling evidence. Whether you love him, hate him, or think he's a secret Sith, one thing's for sure. Jar Jar Binks is controversial, and that's why he's at number 3. Number 2. Order 66, or the Jedi Purge. At number 2, Order 66, the betrayal that shook the entire galaxy. Clone troopers, soldiers who fought alongside the Jedi for years, suddenly turned on them without hesitation. Jedi Masters, Padawans, everyone slaughtered. In an instant, the Jedi Order was nearly wiped out. This moment is a fan favorite for its shock value, but it's also deeply controversial because it's not just war, it's genocide. It's cold, calculated, and brutal. And the worst part? The clones had no choice. They were programmed to follow Order 66, meaning they were victims too. Fans still call this one of the darkest moments in Star Wars, and they're right. It's a tragedy on a galactic scale, and it defines everything that comes after. That's why it's at number 2. Number 1. Attempted assault in Andor. And now, the most controversial moment in Star Wars history, the attempted assault scene in Andor Season 2. In Episode 3, Imperial Lieutenant Kroll corners Bix Killeen and tries to force himself on her. Bix fights back, kills him with a wrench, and then says the words no one expected to hear in Star Wars. He tried to rape me. This was the first time the R word was ever spoken in the Star Wars franchise. The first time violence of that kind was explicitly depicted on screen. Fans exploded. Some argued it was powerful storytelling that highlighted the brutal, oppressive nature of the Empire. Others felt it was too dark, too real, and worried it fundamentally might change Star Wars' tone forever. This moment touches on power, trauma, and morality in ways Star Wars never has before. It's not just controversial, it matters, and that's why it's number 1. So there you have it, the most controversial Star Wars moments, ranked from weird to world-shaking. These aren't just bad plot points or creative missteps. These are moments that sparked debates, divided fandoms, and forced us to ask the tough questions about the stories we love. Do you agree with this ranking? Think the Holdo maneuvers should be higher? Still mad about Han shooting first? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate like we're in the Galactic Senate. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss videos like this. Until next time, may the Force be with you.